Larry Drew and the Cavs have agreed to a deal today. Is he here for the long run?
Are these NFL teams legit? Will they say so in time for the NFL playoffs? Stick around with us for Legit or Quit.
And the college football playoffs are approaching, and we are going to tell you who our wild card teams are.
And the hockey season is in full swing. Find out how the Columbus Blue Jackets did over the weekend. Sports Corner starts right now.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a brand new edition of Sports Corner. I'm Tanner Castor. He's Henry Palatella. Great weekend of college football. The Rams finally lost in the NFL, and we'll get to some NBA action in a moment. But first, Hank, it was someone's birthday this weekend.
It was my birthday. I turned 22 this weekend. My parents came up to celebrate. Great time in Kent as always.
Good to hear. Well, now let's get to some news. The Cleveland Cavaliers have come to a contract agreement with Larry Drew for the rest of the 2018-19 season. The deal includes a partially guaranteed contract for next season as well. Drew took over as the Cleveland Cavaliers interim head coach when Ty Lue was officially let go on October 28th. The Cavs are 1-2 since Lue was let go and currently sit at 1-8 on the season.
And the vacancy in football might have a head coach candidate as well. Bruce Arians was part of the team that broadcasted the Browns and Chiefs game this Sunday for CBS, with his comments during the game fueling rumors he might be headed to Cleveland. During that game, Arians said that he sees a lot of potential in the Browns and hinted that the only job that would bring him out of retirement is the one at First Energy Stadium. In his head coaching career, Arians has compiled a 49-30-1 record with the Arizona Cardinals, Indianapolis Colts. But let's get into it, that game, the Chiefs and the Browns. The Chiefs, a team that John Dorsey handpicked. Here's Kareem Hunt, a guy who Dorsey had a big play in getting. Tanner. Electrifying guy. Is he the best running back in the NFL right now?
Not quite, but close.
Not quite. Kareem Hunt, who lives in Cleveland at the 9, gets in the end zone here. 7-0 Chiefs early, living it up with the Browns fans. But the Browns, they had some fight in them. But not enough. Patrick Mahomes here to Travis Kelce, a big tight, another Cleveland guy.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
Went to Cincinnati, Ohio, all the way around, doing it in front of the hometown fans. 13-3 would be 14-3 at this point. And here's Hunt in the end zone again. The Chiefs go on to win 37-21. This was a big win for the Chiefs. A lot of what Dorsey has with the Browns you can kind of see.
We'll stick in that AFC North. Here's James Conner on a 3rd and 5 from a couple yards out. He had 7 catches for 56 yards on the day. Steelers up 7-3. Later in the second quarter, this time it's Antonio Brown. Makes a man miss, dances into the end zone. Steelers lead at this point by 11. It's now 20-6. Late in the third, Alex Collins from a yard out. And the Ravens not quite done yet, but in the fourth quarter, a big completion here. 2nd and 9, 11 minutes to go. It's Jesse James, bobbles it, finally corrals it. That would lead to a field goal, and the Pittsburgh Steelers win this one 23-16, and they have firm control of that AFC North. And now to some news with the Steelers. Le'Veon Bell has tweeted, "Farewell Miami" today. Heading into what is now Week 10 of the NFL season, Le'Veon has still not reached a contract agreement with the Steelers. Bell is in a very sticky situation, to say the least, with his teammates. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler reported October 1st that Bell was expected to return to the Steelers during their bye week. The deadline for him to return is quickly approaching.
Battle of two powerhouses, Rams and Saints. Johnny Hecker here, the punter, is a guy who played soccer in high school. I always like to see the punter get involved. Doesn't get the first down here, but I just wanted to get that in because punters are people too, Tanner. Drew Brees here finds Benjamin Watson. He announced that his wife was pregnant with twins after the game. Gets the celebration
Good
there.
for him.
A little bit of Brandon Jacobs doing what he does best. But Jared Goff, a guy who has really shown out his second year, finds Malcolm Brown, who dances into the end zone, one of the most electrifying touchdowns you'll see this year. And Drew Brees, getting it done, finds Michael Thomas. Tanner, when you're hungry and it's late at night, what do?
You got to eat.
You got to eat. So what do you do?
Mac and cheese?
No. You order a pizza, and that's what Michael Thomas did
Okay.
here. He had a phone in both of the end zones. He's got 2 phones, one for the south, one for the north side. Brings out a little bit of Joe Horn. Saints win big over the Rams.
2 GOATs going at it. Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers will start in the second quarter. Aaron Rodgers rolling out, might use his feet, instead finds Davante Adams. And we are all knotted at 10, but the Pats march right down the field and playing Cordell Patterson, Hank, at running back. He goes in during the 2-minute warning to give the Pats a 7-point advantage at the break. Second half now, Aaron Rodgers, second and goal from the 15 after a penalty. No problem there. Jimmy Graham on the receiving end of that touchdown toss. It's a 17-17 game, but as the Pats do best, they run it right down the field and they score back on top by 7. That's James White. And then to put this one on ice, the former Cleveland Brown off busted coverage, Josh Gordon, probably his best game as a Patriot. 5 catches, 130 yards, and the Patriots win at home 31-17. And now quickly, a Monday Night Football update. The Cowboys are taking it to the Titans right now, up 7-0 in the second quarter.
Amari Cooper scored 10 minutes into his Cowboys debut. If he turns out to be a factor, the NFC East could be wide open now. But as I mentioned earlier, we have a new game. It's called Legit or Quit. Pretty simple. If a team's legit, they're legit. And if a team quits, they quit. So we're bringing in Cottrell Simpson and Jake Hoyer to discuss some teams. Cottrell, I'll go to you first. The Patriots.
They're legit.
They're
you
legit.
Have, you have Tom Brady as your quarterback, you're always legit. Every year, the Patriots do the same thing, year in, year out. They're always a contender for a championship.
Yeah, I also agree. I think with Tom Brady behind there, and their defense actually hasn't been giving up that many points. I mean, Green Bay did come in and put up a decent number of points too, but New England, they prevail. So, I mean, they're going to come back to the playoffs and do what they do best.
I think they should quit. Tom Brady is one hit away at 41 years old before breaking in half. Quit while you're ahead, Hank.
The Brian Hoyer era might start. Another quarterback who is close to breaking is Ben Roethlisberger. So we'll take it to the Steelers. Jake, the Steelers, legit or quit?
I think they're legit just because I think they're going to return to the playoffs and I think they're going to bounce back. Not like they did against Jacksonville, but I think they're going to bounce back stronger this time, especially now without having Bell and they have James Conner. James Conner looking like the man this year, so I think Steelers are legit.
Well, Le'Veon Bell coming back, I think it's going to really mess up that team chemistry. Plus, you have the Patriots and the Chiefs still in the AFC, so I'm going to quit on the Steelers.
I'm quitting because I'm hating. That's it. No analysis. I'm just hating.
Completely agree. Their Super Bowl title hopes ended last year. They should quit this year. It's not going to happen. Now we'll move to an up-and-coming team, the Houston Texans, Jake.
I think it's like 50-50. I think it could be legit, it could be quit. I think they've had a really easy schedule this year, and they have some easy teams coming out of the rest of their season. So I think they're 50-50, but they could be legit come playoff time.
I'm going to quit on them just because, like I said before, you got the Patriots and the Chiefs still in that AFC, and I'm a big believer in Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes.
I'm going to say legit. I really believe in Deshaun Watson. I think he's got the potential to be an MVP down the line in his career, and I think he's got to go in this year.
I'm with their legit as well. Deshaun Watson's a factor. J.J. Watt, Whitney Merciless. The defense has some plays. You mentioned easy division. Could get them in the playoffs, and that's all you need to do in the NFL. Another electrifying quarterback, Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs.
I'm all in on Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs. They're definitely legit. They got a chance to take out Tom Brady, especially if they can get the game in Arrowhead for the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm legit on the Chiefs as well. The only thing that scares me about the Chiefs is they give up a ton of points on the opposite end on their defense. So their defense prevails in the playoffs, then definitely the Chiefs are a team worth looking at.
I'm going to have to agree with you guys. Pat Mahomes, his arm talent is good as we've seen since Aaron Rodgers. This team's legit, Hank.
I'm with them. Tanner, I think they're legit. How far do you think they make it right now?
I think they're going to go to the Super Bowl.
All
I
right.
do.
Super Bowl.
Redskins, Hank, now they have a new quarterback in town,
They do.
Alex Smith. Legit quitting on them.
I'm quitting on the Washington Redacteds. Their entire offensive line is hurt. I don't think Alex Smith is the real deal. Quitting. Cowboys win the division.
There's really no reason why they're even in this game. I think the Redskins, they might not even win that division, so I'm going to quit on them too.
Yeah, I'm also going to quit on the Redskins too. I just think they do look good on their home turf, but I just don't think the other teams in their division, they can match up against them.
I'm going to quit on the Redskins, not sold on Alex Smith. I think they still have an outside shot at the playoff. Don't think it's going to happen. Now we'll move to the Chicago Bears. They're led by a local product, Mitch Trubisky. You all in on the Bears yet, Jake?
I like the Bears. I think they're really good, but Khalil Mack has been having some injury problems, and their whole defense seems to revolve around him. So, and Mitchell Trubisky, I'm not really trusting in him, so I'm going to go quit on the Bears.
I like the Bears too. I like Khalil Mack on that defense, but not really a big believer in Mitch Trubisky just yet. It'll take some time. I'm going to quit on him.
I think the Bears are legit. I believe in Trubisky, and that defense is for real. I'm buying stock in Chicago.
Mitch Trubisky is undefeated on Twitter and even more undefeated in the football field. Bears are legit. That defense, you get in the playoffs, could be tough. Cottrell, now the last one, the real tough one, the Rams.
The Rams, they're legit to an extent. We saw last night they lost to the Saints, but I'm going to go with legit.
Same here. I'm going to go legit, but if one team puts up points, you got to put up points as well. So
Yeah.
as long as you put up points on the Rams, you can definitely beat them.
Legit, they'll make the playoffs, not going to the Super Bowl.
I'm ironically think I'm going to quit on them. Their defense didn't look good. It hasn't looked good all year. Their offense definitely overshadows it. Like you said, you just have to score more But one of those games that an offense doesn't click. It's going to happen eventually. Maybe it doesn't happen in the regular season. Maybe it happens in the playoffs. I don't think they're balanced enough to really have it right now. But when we return, we have some college football action. Stick with us. Sports.
Can we get strawberries?
Okay.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Welcome back. It's now time to talk some college football, and we are going to start right here with some action. The Flashes will head to Buffalo tomorrow night to take on the Buffalo Bulls, and this Bulls team is 8-1 this season and 5-0 in conference, sitting in first place. The Flashes, meanwhile, are 2-7, 1-4 in the conference, but the Flashes are coming off a very tough win against Bowling Green and are hoping to ride that momentum into an upset over a very talented Buffalo team. The Flashes will have to come ready to play on both sides of the ball if they want any chance to pull off the shocker, because this Buffalo team has put up over 30 points in 7 of their 8 victories so far this season. Now bring in the boys for the discussion. Hank, you cover the team. You've watched every game. You just saw the Flashes beat Bowling Green. Any shot they can upset this Buffalo team?
I think there's a chance, but it's got to be about momentum. They got to come out fast. They have to. Sean Lewis has installed this flash fast type of offense. They kind of. Bowling Green is not Buffalo. Buffalo is the real deal. Tyree Jackson, their quarterback, the real deal. The guy can play. He's a Power 5 type quarterback.
Yeah, no question.
But they have to play fast. Their offense can catch teams off guard. They run the Antoine Dixon, Joel Shaw, and Justin Rankin out of the backfield. Guys that can make plays. They just have to get them going. And like you said, 30 points in 7 of their 8 victories. That's tough no matter where you play. So it's clear that Buffalo has the talent.
Jake, what's the mindset have to be of this team moving forward? No shot at a bowl
Kent
game.
State?
Yeah, for the Flashes.
Definitely have to put points up early, because they seem to really struggle in the first half, putting up points and everything, and definitely their defense is just completely falling apart this whole season. So it's definitely looking like the same results as last year, even under a different new head coach. So.
For me, I think you have to find a way to be consistent. If you put up points in the first half and the second half, then you have a chance, especially with Buffalo having such a high-powered offense.
Right.
But I just don't see any chance of that
They're
happening.
going there, though, so it's really tough. But they won. First FBS win, so if you're going to have any momentum to build off of, this is it.
And the one thing, too, for Kent State, they have nothing to lose. You might as well pull out all the stops, try and get a W in this one. But now we will move to some highlights, and we're going to go to the Big Ten with the Buckeyes doing battle against Nebraska Saturday afternoon, and they found themselves down early 7-0 after a Devin Agzigbu touchdown, but special teams would be the key for Ohio State in this one. They got a blocked punt, went through the end zone for a safety. It was 7-2 at that point. Dwayne Haskins, he's been terrific this year, 32 touchdowns. Probably none more easy than this one. Johnny Dixon wide open, he'll walk into the end zone. It's 9-7, now 16-14 at this point, but Adrian Gonzalez from 2 yards out, and don't look now, but Nebraska leads 21-16 at the half, but J.K. Dobbins doing his best to keep the Buckeyes around. This one from a few yards out, he had 3 touchdowns on the evening. Here is the third one, and the biggest of them all, 163 yards on the evening. And Ohio State escapes at home, defeating Nebraska 36-31.
We go Penn State, Michigan, a team that Ohio State fans need to win in Michigan. Shea Patterson here finds Zach Gentry from 7 yards out, 21-0 Michigan at this point. It got so bad for Penn State, They pulled Trace McSorley. Tommy Stevens here, his first pass of the game, goes about as poorly as it can go. Finds Watson here, just right in his hands, takes it in the end zone. His second pick six of the year. 28-0 Michigan at this point, and the route is on. They're pulling off Saquon Barkley's touchdown celebration. Things are good in the big house. And finally, one last touchdown here. Karon Higdon into the end zone from 4 yards out. Michigan wins big, 42-7.
Down south, the winner of this one would head to the SEC championship game, one of the biggest games in Kentucky football history, but Elijah Holyfield could care less. Right here, rips off 25 yards, and then he's going to finish off the drive, showing you the leg strength to carry defenders across the goal line. Dogs up by 3 scores, and it would only get worse from there. This time, it's DeAndre Swift, the Philadelphia product, 83 yards, untouched, and it was all Georgia, 28-3. But Kentucky showing some fight, not out of it yet. Benny Snell, the leading rusher in the SEC from 9 yards out, punches it home. And Kentucky with signs of life, it's 28-10, now 34-17, but all dashes of hope gone after that Snell fumble. And Georgia will now officially head to the SEC championship game, where they will meet the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Big 12, so there's no defense. Martell Pettaway gets here 13 yards out. All of a sudden, West Virginia ties this one up in the fourth quarter against Texas, who our experts have determined is not back. Sam Ellinger here finds Devin Duraney with a 48-yard touchdown pass. Texas up by 7 with 2 minutes left. West Virginia, their national championship hopes, slipping away in the waning seconds. But Will Grier finds Greg Jennings Jr. with the deep touchdown pass. Taylor, we're going to look at this again. This is one of the toughest catches you can make. Gets both of them down. It would have been good in the NFL. So it's a 1-point game.
How about the throw, though?
A great throw. 1-point game, all right? 16 seconds left. Will Grier, the large barge Sarge, gets in the end zone with a 2-point conversion. West Virginia wins by 1. Celebrating close to the fence, so the ref has to come over so no one gets beer thrown on him. West Virginia wins.
LSU at home at night in Death Valley. They welcome in Alabama, and things would not go well. This time, Tua to Henry Ruggs. The extra point, no good. Bama up 6-0 early. It's now 9-0, and you will not believe what you're about to see. Tua Tagovailoa throws this one and is picked off for the first time this year. And if you're an LSU fan, soak this one in, because that is all you had to cheer about, because Alabama is without question the best team in college football, and they're showing you why. Saturday night, Irving Smith Jr. with a touchdown reception that tied up 16-0 at the half, and they would continue to pour it on. Tua showing you not just a thrower can get it done on the ground as well. No one in sight to make a tackle, and he will glide into the end zone. Again, the extra point was no good, 22-0. At that point, he would have to head into the 10. He would be okay and return to the game, but they really didn't need him because Damian Harris from a few yards out puts this one to bed. 29-0, Bama rolls.
Let's look at the AP poll. At number 1, we have the Golden State Warriors, 2 Clemson, 3 Notre Dame, 4 Michigan. Tanner, any surprises?
Not really. Washington State, I'm not sure if they're a top 10 team, but they are 8-1. They deserve to be in the top 10. If Ohio State wins out, Hank, do they get inside that top 4?
Yes, they do. Shout out Mike Leach and Washington State. And we are approaching week 11 of the college football season, and it's time for us to have our wild card picks for the playoffs. The teams that weren't in the top 4, teams that people might not expect. Jake, I'll start with you to my left. Who's your wild card?
I like West Virginia because Grier, he had a great game. He threw for 346 yards, 3 touchdowns, and they just looked really hot early, and definitely towards the end of the game, too. They're just a great team overall. They had a tough loss to Iowa State, and they play Oklahoma in a few weeks, so that should be definitely a high-scoring game, but I like West Virginia.
A team you didn't see pictured in that top 10 was Syracuse. They're ranked number 13 right now. Eric Dungey leads the team in passing and rushing.
You know we're talking about football, not basketball, right?
23 touchdowns on the season, and he was only thrown 4 picks. I think it's important for this team to get a win next week against Notre Dame, and then they got Boston College to finish out the year. But as long as they get some help, that might be a team that sneaks into the top 4.
Good picks by both of you, but my team has something that neither of your teams have, and that's a 0 in the loss column. UCF Golden Knights. They're not getting the respect they deserve. They're undefeated, and they haven't lost in 2 years, Hank. Not last year, not this year. When are the Knights going to get the respect they have earned?
Year 3, I think.
Oh, next year.
The process of elimination.
Okay,
I
trust
think.
the process.
Can't get it year 1, can't get it year 2, try again next year.
Okay.
A team that plays competition, that doesn't play in that would lose to an 8th grade team, is Oklahoma. Have the one loss, don't play defense. But tell me you wouldn't want to see Kyler Murray in a playoff.
Really going out in a branch here.
This is real tough. This was when you pulled out one of those schools of the state I didn't know.
Okay.
Samford or whatever. Oklahoma, they're going to be the real deal. I think they make it in the playoff.
Okay.
But I digress. When we return, we're moving on to the hardwood to talk about the NBA and college basketball. Stick with us.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course.
Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
The upcoming midterm election for Ohio is huge, including in Portage County.
And here in TV2, we'll be live throughout the night here in the studio.
And from the Portage County Board of Elections, we'll have up-to-the-minute coverage of results.
And from Columbus, where either Rich Cordray or Mike DeWine will become Ohio's next governor. And we'll also have up-to-the-minute coverage of other elections in Northeast Ohio.
So tune in to TV2 News at 7:30 p.m. on election night, Tuesday, November 6th.
And remember, go vote.
Welcome back. We promised you basketball, so here it is. Starting off, Kings, Bucks, Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks facing the streaking Kings. And Giannis, it takes him legitimately 3 steps to get to one end of the court to the other, and one here. Kings up big, and here Giannis is again throwing it down. Absolutely incredible. The guy is built like a 2K My player. Bucks up by 22 here at this point, and this is just disgusting. Dunks it so hard he hurts himself, throws it back off the backboard with the force. He goes down. We're going to look at it again. This is incredible. Like, this man was built to play basketball. Giannis is an absolute freak, and the front runner for the MVP right now here finds Tony Snell, who is not Giannis, the first time we've seen him, over former Cav Iman Shumpert, the and 1-3. But Giannis, this is what he needs to do, Tanner, to develop into the NBA, to make his own path. He just has to hit this. Just straight up, in your eye 3. It's good.
That simple?
114 to 109. Yeah, it's so simple. Anyone play basketball.
Spurs and Magic, DeMar DeRozan having himself a pretty good year in San Antonio with the pump fake throw down there. And then something you don't see anymore in basketball, a mid-range jumper. It's Jaren Grant. And then how about another one? This time LaMarcus Aldridge, the big fella, showing you the range. The Spurs trail by 9 at the half. Speaking of big fellas with range, Aaron Gordon, if this young man can consistently hit this shot, he is going to be an all-star for years to come. He hit 4 of them on the night to go along with 26 points. Spurs, though, trying to get back in this one. Patty Mills, that'll help. And then Pau Gasol, the 7-footer, knocks down a triple from distance. And it's a 5-point game, but Nikola Vujacic puts it on the floor, gets to the rack, finishes off the glass. And the Magic pull off a bit of a surprise, winning 117 to 110.
Lifelong Laker LeBron taking on the Raptors. Serge Ibaka from deep, a man who had a career night against the Lakers. Raptors up by 13 at this point. Kyle Lowry in your eye over Lance Stevenson knocks down the 3. Raptors up 39 to 10 at this point. 24-2 scoring run. Exactly how they drew it up. But LeBron, an and 1 to the hoop. It just doesn't look right that he's in the Lakers.
Does not, never will.
It hasn't hit me yet. I don't know when it will hit me. Maybe when he wins the finals, if that happens. Danny Green here to Pascal Siakam. Ibaka, who throws it down, had a career high on the night. Raptors rolling at Staples Center. And one more time, Kyle Lowry to Corey Joseph to Ibaka, gets the dunk, and Lowry, for one last time for good measure, knocks down the 3. Raptors win by 26.
D. Russ and Brooklyn taking on Philly at home. First quarter, Karis LeVert with the scooping layup, but then take a look at this. At 7'1", 285 pounds, you aren't supposed to do this. Behind the back, the smooth jumper, Joel Embiid, an absolute talent. He had 15 and 16 in the ballgame. Karis LeVert again, the acrobatic and 1. He had 20 points, but so did Ben Simmons off the backdoor cut. Throws it down, and then this time he's going to do it all himself. Shoots the passing lane, leads to an easy 2-hand flush, and Philly trailed by 4. Second half now, D'Angelo Russell, the former Ohio State Buckeye, getting it going, the leading scorer in the ballgame with 21. And then Joe Harris, the former Cleveland Cavalier, knocks down a triple. And the Brooklyn Nets win this one, 122-97.
Sometimes I forget that D'Angelo Russell went to Ohio State. Hard to believe. You don't really think about them in basketball.
Speaking of college basketball, we've talked a lot about the NBA, but college basketball is right around the corner. So now we will each give you our teams to watch. And Jake, start us off. Who you got?
Well, I'm going to make a bold prediction here, Tanner. I'm going to say Nevada. They're going to go undefeated in their regular season.
Undefeated?
Yeah, they're going to go undefeated in their regular
A
season.
0 in the loss column.
Yes,
Okay.
because their 3 starters are returning their 3 main scorers. They were one of the best offensive teams in the country in March Madness, even though they had to loss to, I think, Loyola Chicago. They recruited a 5-star freshman, Jordan Brown. I think Nevada is legit, besides watching Zion.
Yeah, that's my pick. You previewed it a little bit. Zion Williamson, Cam Reddish, R.J. Barrett, and Trey Jones. That team is just going to be so exciting to watch. I think that's another team that's not going to have a loss in the column at the end
I
of
was
the regular
thinking
season.
the West Coast with you. I'm going to go with Gonzaga. They're finally going to get over the hump this year. They got to the Final Four, got to the national championship game. A guy to keep your eye on, Zach Norvell Jr., a great shooter. The Zags get it done this year.
Kentucky, I did a lot of research. They're going to be good this year. But before we get back to basketball, let's get to some hockey. The Blue Jackets took on the Anaheim Mighty Ducks this weekend, so let's get into it here. Boone Jenner, Tanner, not the 1-hole, not the 2-hole, not the 3-hole, not the 4-hole, but the 5-hole between the goalie's legs, 1-0. I can tell you're dripping with
Puck sticks.
enthusiasm
Love it.
right now. Here's Richard Raquel trying to make a move. Cam Fowler gets it, puts it in. 1-1 at this point. We're tied up. But Isaac Lundstrom notices Cam Fowler all alone and gets this to his teammate here. Fowler's second goal. You were talking about him. You're one of the guys you think people should watch out for,
I
right?
do. I think he's a talent.
He is a talent. Okay, so it's 2-1, but we got overtime. We got free hockey, all
I was
right?
watching.
Adam Henrique for the Ducks. He's holding on to it here, so Fowler scored their 2 goals. Gets the overtime winner, Tanner. If you're wearing a hat, I tell you to take it off right now. That's a game-winning hat trick. 3-2 Ducks win. Someone else somewhere lost a lot of money on that.
Now to some baseball news. It may be over, but the Cleveland Indians still have a few awards to possibly collect. The Cy Young and MVP finalist awards were announced today, and Corey Kluber and Jose Ramirez were named in the final 3. Kluber is up for the American League Cy Young Award, and Jose Ramirez is up for the American League MVP Award. Kluber has won the Cy Young in 2014 and 2017 and is trying to go back-to-back. Ramirez has yet to win an MVP award, but has been in the top 3 before. The other finalists were Blake Snell and Justin Verlander for the Cy Young Award, and Mookie Betts and Mike Trout for the MVP. And when we return, it is time for our Men on the Silver Mountain. Don't miss it. Stick with us.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year, 1 in 195 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism, 1 in 88. I'm Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
I was living in a shelter, juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
All right, Tanner, you're right here. The mountain's up here. Who's at the top of it?
Serge Ibaka, career high 34 points. You're my man, Silver Mountain.
Floyd Mayweather, the man's entering the octagon for some reason at his age. I don't know why. And that's it. As always, thanks to you for tuning in, and an extra big thank you to former Cavalier James Jones. You weren't called champ for nothing. For TV2, I'm Henry Palatella.
And I'm Tanner Castor. Be sure to tune in next Monday at 9 p.m. Have a great night!
Every one of us has a voice. And every voice has the power to shape the world. Ours is no different. Our voice is 85 years in the making. A voice that's more than 700 students strong, one of the largest in the nation. It's 10 different award-winning media partners sharing 34 outlets, all working united toward a common goal. Our voice reaches 30,000 households on TV, over 22,000 magazine readers per year, 500,000 newspapers, feature films in stores nationwide. Our voice is pride in what we do. It empowers students, emerging professionals, to ask tough questions and demand answers. We believe in our voice. We believe in its ability to change the world. And our voice makes us who we are.
The upcoming upcoming midterm election for Ohio is huge, including in Portage County.
And here in TV2, we'll be live throughout the night here in the studio.
And from the Portage County Board of Elections, we'll have up-to-the-minute coverage of results.
And from Columbus, where either Rich Cordray or Mike DeWine will become Ohio's next governor. And we'll also have up-to-the-minute coverage of other elections in Northeast Ohio.
So tune in to TV2 News at 7:30 p.m. on election night, Tuesday, November 6th.
And remember, go vote.